Francis once said, "All of us care for life, cherish life with tenderness, warmth. To give life is to open our heart, and to care for life is to give oneself in tenderness and warmth for others. To have concern in my heart for others. Caring for life from the beginning to the end. What a simple thing, a beautiful thing. So go forth, and don't be discouraged. Care for it, it's worth it," said Pope Francis. My grandpa is an example of what hard work, dedication, love, respect, and commitment look like. I know everyone has someone special in their life that has touched them deeply and has inspired them like my grandpa has to me. My grandpa has been an honorable man all his life. He began early in life by being part of World War II and taking care of his mom and sisters after his dad passed away. Then later in life, he bent over backwards for my grandma and whatever she needed until her death, and did the same for his kids. He also worked harder than anybody I know so they could have a comfortable, enjoyable life. Nowadays, he is still an honorable man as I get to know him better and spend quality time with him since my grandma has passed. Let's begin with my grandpa's early life. He is a courageous man. When he was 17, he wanted to enlist in the army to help serve his country. And he also wanted to learn and get an education along with that. He served 5 years with the army and did a tour in Germany for 6 months. While in Germany, he attended school. He became a sergeant in the army during his 5 years. I believe enlisting to serve your country is one of the bravest and toughest decisions. You're putting your life on the line for your country. I commend my grandpa for this. After serving in the army, he went home to take care and support his family. His dad had cancer and ended up dying, and he became the man of the house for his mother and 5 sisters. This could never have been an easy task with 6 girls to care for. He went to work, and he also went to school to better himself. He would help his family out any way he could. Likewise, once he grew up and met my grandma, he showed her to the same love and affection he had to his mom and sisters. They lived a fulfilled life together. My grandpa has a love for my grandma like I have never seen. He cared for her every second of her life down to her last breath. He treated her like a real queen. Their marriage never really made sense to me, watching them interact together. My grandma was cruel and mean to my grandpa. She would yell and tell him to shut up and make it impossible for him to have a conversation. But my grandpa never batted an eye and never spoke back. He always controlled himself and listened. He loved her. His love for her was really extraordinary. I always sympathized for him when I think about those times. He always worked so hard for his wife and kids. My grandparents have 3 kids. My dad, my uncle, and my aunt. My grandpa loves his kids like no other, always making sure they had a good life. He worked so my grandma could stay at home with the kids and be a stay-at-home mom. He worked long and hard at the orange plant here in Lake County for 43 years. He traveled and missed time with his family, but he did it because he was dedicated to giving his family the best life he could. That brings us to my grandpa now in life, as I know him. My grandma has been gone for almost a year now, and my grandpa's life was turned upside down. My grandma lost his life. Since my grandma has died, I have really gotten to know my grandpa and a lot about his life and how he grew up. And I've learned a lot about his character. I never really grew up with them, my grandparents, much because of my grandma. They were never really part of my life, never came to any events. They're not really the kind of grandparents you think of when you think of grandparents. I never spent much time with them, but now I'm thankful for the time I get to spend with my grandpa. We go to dinner, and we eat lunch multiple times a week. I make sure to see him every other Sunday, and we make sure that he's never alone. and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I had never doubted my grandpa, but after these last few months, my mind could never be changed, and I have forever been reassured. He is a great man. His faith to God, his commitment to his family, then and still, his determination to live life and to do things, and his heart and courage all inspire me tremendously. I hope he's here to watch me grow up. In conclusion, my grandpa is one of the greatest people I know. He has been there for his family all his life. He has worked very hard in life and has served his country. He has showed me what to look for in a man. I am glad to call him my grandpa forever and always.